Greetings survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here with more development news for the game where the only winning move is not to play, where the clock is ticking down to a nice soothing game of Rust Monopoly, except all the properties are radioactive, the board is on fire, and when you pass glow, you collect a new set of mutations. But circling back for one moment, unless you've been living in a bunker for the last few weeks, you'll know that Rust is getting a new monument next month, and this time, not just your normal waste of building space, this one seems like it'll be providing the ultimate Control, Alt, and indeed Delete that sooner or later everyone needs. It's live on the staging branch right now and still subject to change for another few days before May's big patch. Plus, the first new building skins are on the way, along with animated recyclers, which I'll cover in a moment. But first, a quick rundown of the latest nuclear missile silo developments. Above ground, you can now enter all but 2 of the buildings. Loot's been added throughout. I counted 4 normal scientists up here, and there are a couple of CCTVs watching the exit. The hatch button now requires a blue keycard to activate, and lighting's been added to the fence openings to help in navigating your way in at night. Oh yes, and radiation is now present throughout the monument, and more intense at the bottom. Like most things. Inside, there's now a lot of loot scattered around the base, and to go with it, about 23, from my count, of the new NVGM scientists who are convinced that there's no chemistry between you and will try to reduce your carbon footprint with terminal intensity. These are a bit more than just a cosmetic variation. They have nicer loot in their pockets and are generally packing better weapons, but in addition to this, their night vision gear makes them a little bit more susceptible to flashbangs, which, incidentally, there's now blinded animation for. PS, flashes don't work against guards and peacekeepers, just in case you were thinking about it. At the bottom of the monument, you'll now find an elite crate, some diesel, and a red keycard next to the laptop, which now displays a countdown for anyone who's pondering the eternal question of when is WHIP. And did you know Rust was an acronym? Well, you do now. Repopulation Unit Survival Test. Because we all have a bit of repopulation, don't we? And yes, I am working on a new backstory, although this isn't exactly a new idea if you've been a viewer for a while. I mean, look at this concept art from a few years back. Tell you what, if you can think of a better acronym for Rust, chuck it into the comments below and I'll read out the best ones in the next vid. There are also a lot of commits relating to a big bang, which I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together on and come up with 5. We'll just have to wait for the pyrotechnic display on that one though, because no amount of hitting laptops and warheads will help here, sadly. Actually, hold on, I haven't tested that lately. There's a new page on the wiki which I'll link below, and this confirms that the purpose of the monument, as we've all guessed by now, is to count down to the next server wipe and then blow everything up in the most thorough way possible. It also gives full instructions on how to set the timer to work with whatever your wipe schedule is, so don't worry you little frog boots about that. All I want to know is whether we'll be able to attach a saddle to the missile. Anyway, continuing on, once you've battled your way to the end of the monument, you'll notice that the exit now just works on a button, no keycard needed, and the security office contains a computer station where you'll find all the local CCTVs linked, namely 3 giving views of the exit and 1 looking down the missile shaft. This is all on staging now for testing, and as I say, Doomsday should be on Thursday, 4th of May. Oh, and while you're exploring, see if you can find this chap. He was so close. Something else on staging right now is the first of a few new building skin DLCs. Adobe, which will be an option to apply to stone tier only, and gives a complete visual overhaul for those of you who are into modifications. I can't say I'm a massive fan of the aesthetic myself, but it is very well done and is a role player's dream in the desert. Plus, the flooring's especially nice. As mentioned, this will be a purely cosmetic store item in the next patch. I don't know what the price will be yet, but we should know soon. And when you own it, you'll need to enable skins in the hammer menu first before applying it. That'll let you upgrade straight to Adobe in this case, but do note that changing existing stone into Adobe currently costs you extra, and there's no way of going back, although this is still subject to change. More skins are on the way and will be released over time, with confirmed ones being Brick, also for stone tier, Brutalist, to be decided, Shipping Container for metal, and Legacy Style Wood, presumably for wood. Let me know what you think below. Would you pay for this? If so, how much? What other building skins would you like to see, apart from camo, frog boot, and invisible, I mean. In other news, recyclers on staging are now animated. They do a little jiggle and the teeth go round and round. This was something that always bothered me, so I'm happy to see the game will now finally be playable. There are also going to be a lot fewer burlap sacks around soon, as ammos are getting proper distinctive world models, and as well as all the other cool stuff the team are working on, such as the Nexus system, pets, and personal attack choppers. There's also been more work on weapon racks, with a makeshift standing version on a separate branch, and Twitch Rivals is coming up soon with some new ID tags having been added, it seems. That's about it for this week. Join me next week for a look at the full patch and anything else that's new. Thank you once again to all who support me and enable me to keep going. If you like what I do, please leave me one and sub to the channel. And don't forget, you can also find me on Twitch and socials. All the links are below. I shall catch you all soon. But in the meantime, you know the drill. Keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio.